Members, I call on Government Order of the Day number 3.
Arts Council of New Zealand, Toi Aotearoa Bill, interrupted debate on third reading.
Honourable Members, when this bill was last being debated, I think it's my cousin, the Arts Council of New Zealand, Toi Aotearoa Bill, the Honourable Member Grant Robertson has 8 minutes remaining to speak. Would he like to do so?
Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Member
Speaker, how long have I got left?
Mr. Robertson, you have 8 minutes remaining.
Excellent.
I therefore call the Honourable Member Grant
Very
Robertson.
good. Right, well, that's right. Before I began, that's a good idea. I think we should start firstly by saying that the Speaker and I do indeed share the last name, and I admire his Robertson tartan tie that he is wearing, distantly related as we are. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when I was talking last night, I'd come to what is one of the Labour Party's principal concerns with the Arts Council of New Zealand Toi Aotearoa Bill, and that is the disestablishment of Te Waka Toi, the Māori Arts Funding Body, and the Pacific Arts Advisory Committee. Both of those organisations, who have a long history of funding the arts in New Zealand, disappear from view tonight. And in fact, as we discovered in the committee stages, Mr. Chair, in fact, Te Waka Toi is now a banned phrase. Nobody is allowed to use the phrase Te Waka Toi from this moment onwards as a result of one of the clauses in this bill. So not just expunging Te Waka Toi from its job and its work, but taking the name out and saying it can't actually be used. That's just how far this government is going with this bill. Now, it's not true to say that the Arts Council or Creative New Zealand are perfect bodies. There is always room for improvement. There is always room for streamlining of governance structures. But the problem with this bill is that it takes a sledgehammer to that issue, and it says there will be one body, there will be 4 people who will be responsible for making sure that Māori's perspectives are covered. There will be 2 people for making sure that Pacific perspectives are covered. And Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we simply do not believe that that is an adequate representation for Māori and Pacific arts in New Zealand. The truth is, Māori and Pacific arts have flourished, Mr. Speaker, under the model that has been working through the Arts Council in the last few years. Māori artists believe in the Te Waka Toi brand. They believe in the fact that they will be supported as Māori artists by a body that understands them. The Pacific Arts Advisory Committee has overseen the development of Pacific artists like Jonathan Lamalu, like Victor Roger, people who have contributed so much to New Zealand, and that leadership goes tonight in this bill, and we on this side of the House simply do not agree with that approach. The Minister has told us that it will be perfectly possible for the Māori or members or those with knowledge of Māori custom who are on the new Arts Council to form their own committee and potentially make funding decisions. That's what he told us in the committee stages. Well, if that's the case, just leave Te Waka Toi in place and let it get on with doing its job. But no, the Minister of Arts, Culture and Heritage, who knows so much better about the arts than anybody else, and everything, in fact, says to us, this is the structure. This is Maggie Barry, another member of the arts scene over the back there. That's right. You should not talk about Chris Finlayson like that. Maggie Barry should not talk about Chris Finlayson. Calling Chris Finlayson jealous and unpleasant is a terrible, terrible thing to do in this House tonight. It could be an understatement, Moana. It could be. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the complete destruction of Te Waka Toi in the Pacific Arts Committee, this bill is also confused in several areas. One of those is in the future of community arts and the name the Community Arts Councils. In the committee stages, we were simply unable to get a clear answer from the Minister as to what is the future of Community Arts Councils. And it's quite clear from those who submitted on the bill that they also were concerned about this. It now seems that the name Community Arts Council is potentially available to people from outside a region to come into a region, call themselves a Community Arts Council. But the control of that name is also now kept within the Arts Council. And to me, Mr Speaker, this speaks of a government, and in particular a minister, who does not understand the importance of community arts, who does not understand what grassroots communities need when it comes to fostering creativity. It's a minister who thinks that arts start and end at the symphony orchestra and the ballet, and he might chuck Neil Diamond in on a good day. That's the arts to Chris Finlayson, and that's not enough. That's not enough. Oh, there's Neil Diamond fans on this side of the house. I withdraw and apologise for that. But it's fair to say that this minister does not have an understanding of the arts and beyond that narrow field that he believes constitutes what should be funded. And we have, Mr Speaker, at this time, for instance, a crisis in the publishing industry in New Zealand. It's a fantastic thing to see Eleanor Catton up on the world stage, but the reality is that support for authors and writers and publishers in New Zealand is at an all-time low, and they are struggling.
Rubbish.
They are struggling. Maggie Barry says rubbish. Go out and talk to the publishing industry and actually listen to what they say. Actually listen to what the publishing industry say. And they say that this national government does not support them. They want to know, independent publishers want to know, where's the support for them? Authors want to know, where's the support for them? This is a government who's overseen the end of the publication published annually for 20 or 30 years that publishes new authors. Sport magazine that publishes new authors every year, gone under this government, because this government does not understand the importance of arts and literature beyond the narrow field that their minister sees. And Mr Speaker, this bill unfortunately will pass tonight because it has been unthinkingly put through by this government. I suspect in years to come we will return to a different model, a more inclusive model of arts funding, because this is not the answer. The Arts Council of New Zealand has funded fantastic things over the years. This minister's decided his great legacy will be to tinker around with the bureaucracy. That's not good enough. We need a government that will support arts from the community level right up to those who go overseas, like Lord, like Eleanor Catton. Oh, Maggie Barry says we had our chance and we did nothing. Maggie Barry says that. We had to put in an arts recovery package because Maggie Barry's party was so hopeless in the arts. We had to put $80 million in. Helen Clark led the arts in this country, and when Labor gets back into government again, we will ensure the arts recover, and Maggie Barry will see what a real arts minister looks like.
Order. I call the honourable member Chris Ockenvold.
Mr Speaker, thank you, Mr Speaker. What a crescendo